Hi! There is actually a new update for Plazma Burst 2.
What the fuck kind of...
This is not 2.5, this is 2. First things first, a few optimizations have been implemented in order to speed up gore effects rendering in Plazma Burst 2. So basically, when you turn on violence, it's not going to be extremely laggy anymore. I used to play with violence turned on, and this is how it looks like. When you kill people, it's not like hit markers. It's actually like their blood goes everywhere and all that. It's really, really cool. Like I said, I used to play with this, but it was way too laggy, so I had to stop. Now I can finally play with it again. Thank you so much for doing this, Eric. Next, a few new trigger action types for single player and engine marks for multiplayer deathmatch modes have been added. So basically, when you use the level editor, there are way more trigger types. I heard it was something called variables. I'm not too sure how this works, but you level editor people, you will know. So that's awesome, new and creative ways to make maps. Furthermore, players in approved maps spawn with up to 3 weapons now. Once again, this is something that you can configure in the level editor. If you want people to spawn with weapons, you can do that now. In addition, there is now increased player speed when crouching. Yeah, before you would crouch and you would just go really, really slow. That's been fixed. And finally, you may have already noticed this during the gameplay that I've been showing, but half of the chat in multiplayer is now transparent. This puts more focus on the most recent chat messages. And that's it for news that he put on the site. Now moving on to Twitter, he did tweet about this. A user by the name of Copy replied saying, "Well, didn't expect Plazma Burst 2 to get updated." Eric said, "Been reading articles on how Flash works and noticed a few places in the Plazma Burst 2 code that can be easily improved. So I decided why not." Then a user by the name of I Hate Plays replied, "Did you also get rid of enemies list too?" And Eric responded, "Yes. It was meant to be an ignore list originally when there was no site inbox, but it will still work as something hidden." That's actually another thing. Eric did take away the enemies list on Plazma Burst 2. Now, it's just a friends list. There is no more enemies list. A user by the name of Sword Ninja said, "Nice. Could we expect any future mini updates such as this?" Eric responded, "It depends. Plazma Burst 2 is really hard and confusing game to update." Another user by the name of Random Guy responded to Eric asking why. Eric said, "Flash player got GPU support. Plazma Burst 2 was developed when there was none. Also, I wasn't as skilled back in the day as I am now." Basically what he said was that the program Flash Player that he used to make Plazma Burst 2 made some changes. And so the way Eric was used to making Plazma Burst 2 and updating it and such changed. So even though he's more skilled now, it's still incredibly hard to make any sort of updates to the game. We're actually pretty lucky that we even got something like this. I'm really grateful. A user by the name of Motus said, "Plazma Burst 2 is dying and almost died. We need a small update to make it more creative." And Eric said, "Its popularity didn't rise up after the last few times I tried this. It needs more changes that Plazma Burst 2's engine can't handle, and that is exactly why Eric is making Plazma Burst 2.5. Eric needs to focus on Plazma Burst 2.5 for the series to really spark up again. That will do it. I'm really, really happy that we got this. Small things such as more creative ways for map makers to get invested in their creations and actually make great things is awesome. Small things like making violence being turned on less laggy so that I can actually enjoy shooting someone's head off and seeing all the blood fly everywhere. Even though this is kind of a minor update, it's the first one we've gotten in many, many months, and I'm really, really happy. Hopefully you guys are too. This actually came out of nowhere too. I mean, we all know Eric is infamous for not updating the game, but actually in this video we got to find out why. Guys, there's so much more incredible content coming. I really hope you enjoyed this small little update. Once again, this is certainly the place to be for all the news. Once again, stick around, there's a lot of great things coming, and have an amazing day.